Hello everybody, today is June 28th, 2011. I'm coming to you from sunny California. Check it out here in sunny California. I don't believe I've ever seen rain on June 28th my entire life. This is really odd. Summer kicked off with a bang and then now it's raining again. I don't know what to say about the rain. It's been a crazy year. The past year's been pretty crazy as far as earth changes, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware. So anyway, we got rain today in California, and we got new legislation written up to help restore sound money. Just today, I found an article talking about Senators DeMint, Mike Lee, and Rand Paul introducing the Sound Money Promotion Act. And this will allow for there not to be any taxes on your precious metals as they rise in purchasing power. You know, right now, if you go out and buy a silver coin or a gold coin and it doubles in the amount of dollars that you can get with it, you have to give the government a percentage of that rise. You have to pay a capital gains tax on the difference, which is totally ridiculous because you're holding real money and you're being punished by having to pay a tax on your purchasing power of your real money increasing. Now, if you're holding dollars, they're not giving you anything by holding dollars that are going down in value. The government should be paying you to hold your dollars. But we know that's not going to happen. So you have to pay tax right now on your real money rising in value. So anyway, with Utah recently legalizing gold and silver as money, which, you know, is totally ridiculous to even hear myself saying that. It's the first state to, you know, make gold and silver legal tender for payment. There's 12 other states that are lined up to vote on this, and hopefully we can get this across the whole nation, where at least temporarily where gold and silver goes alongside the US dollar. You know, it's about time that this is finally happening. Things are in such a bad way. You know, we've had the Federal Reserve purchasing 70% of the US Treasuries recently to keep us going. China and Russia not using dollars anymore, the reserve currency of the world. For how much longer? The reserve currency, who knows? But Russia and China are now using their own currencies to buy and sell oil amongst themselves. And all the rating agencies are talking about downgrading because we're 5 weeks away from default. And, you know, we got that stellar top-notch credit rating because we're such a great credit risk right now. But, yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the dollar. There's a lot of things that have been happening recently. And it's just about time that we get some of these bills voted on, you know, to institute sound money again. We got to get back to sound money. There's no way around it. We can't just stay on this paper monopoly scheme that's been going on. And Ron Paul's been talking about auditing the Fed again and doing an audit of the gold. I heard someone in opposition say, well, that'll cost $60 million. Well, so what? You know, it's been 50 years. They spend $60 million on, I don't know, they just piss that away. The government, you know, that would be money well spent. You make sure we have what we've been told we have. There hasn't been an audit in 50 years on that gold in Fort Knox. And that wasn't even a full audit then. I don't think there's ever been a full audit since the 30s when it was stolen from the American public. So they need to weigh and assay every bar. And someone else says, oh, well, if you assay the bars, you know, you lose a little bit of gold as you poke into the bars. Well, so what? You know, we need to know that we have what we say we have. We could just have a whole bunch of pieces of paper sitting on a cart inside the vault saying, oh, well, so-and-so owes us this amount of gold. We need to know the truth. There's, you know, we're tired of the secrecy. The Federal Reserve needs to be done away with. Just like Ron Paul wrote his book, End the Fed. Well, if you haven't read End the Fed, that's a great book written by Ron Paul, and it explains why we need to end the Fed. The dollar's fallen 98% in its value since 1913. And it's just going to keep falling in value. It's had a little rally here lately. You know, that's just a temporary thing. The long-term prospects for the dollar is that direction. I keep doing that in videos. This is the way the dollar's going long-term. Precious metals are going this way. Long-term, they're going up. That's another thing I've been thinking about that I want to talk about. When you watching my videos, you have to remember, I have a long-term perspective. I may poke around at some short-term forecasts, just, you know, to just to try and see if I can pinpoint something that's going to happen or something. But I'm not a short-term forecaster. All my studying of history and watching what's happening with current events, I use that information for, you know, trying to figure out what's going to happen long term. Things become more obvious for the long term when you're watching what's happening and you look at history and what's happened. So, you know, I had a comment from some guy, sent me a message, says, well, you were recommending people should still buy silver when it was in the 40s. Yeah, and if we get back to the 40s, I'll still recommend to buy silver. But I also recommend to buy right now. And if we go down to the high 20s, buy there. That's ultimately my favorite, and I feel, in my opinion, the best way to take a position in the precious metals is just to continuously buy a little bit every month. If you would have been doing that the last couple of years, you'd probably be averaged in the low 20s. That's just the best way to get involved. Don't try and pick a day and say, oh, well, it's $39.50 now for an ounce of silver, so I'm going to go drop 10 grand. No, I mean, just keep continuously accumulating real money. That's the best option. And most of the times when I'm talking in my videos, I'm talking about the long term. You know, the dollar's headed down in the long run, and silver and gold are headed up. That's the bottom line. Talk to y'all soon.